Good afternoon, BCA. This is Dr. Bath, your vice principal, standing in the middle of Hackensack Avenue right now. And I am doing so to welcome you warmly to a very, very important BCA tradition. And that is our International Day of Acceptance workshops. This afternoon, you're going to have an opportunity to have your perspective enlarged as you grapple with different issues that are facing our building, our town, our county, our country, and indeed our planet. You'll have an opportunity to ask questions and hear from industry professionals and professionals who are doing important work on these topics. Again, I'm here to say welcome, participate, learn, have fun, and enjoy. Welcome to IDA Workshops 2021.
Welcome.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome to BCA's International Day of Acceptance 2021, the first ever virtual IDA. The workshop portion of IDA has been a BCA tradition since 2015. This is an important day to promote inclusivity, diversity, and celebrate the various cultures of the world. This is also a day to reflect on how we, as a community, can do better to create an accepting and more just society. The Diversity Alliance, which is the group that runs the workshop portion of IDA, is a group of students dedicated to increasing awareness about various issues in our community, as well as taking concrete steps to improve acceptance. With a surge of student involvement in social justice movements in the past year, this year's IDA workshops are charged with passion.
This year's workshops include a wide variety of social issues to educate our BCA community. You can learn about racial justice, gender equality, environmental justice, neurodiversity, and so much more. Some of BCA's very own organizations are hosting workshops to teach you how to get involved. Our knowledgeable speakers come from all different backgrounds and can share advice and experiences to teach you about the world around you and how you can help.
Now please welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Chinwe Ogedegbe. She is the Section Chief for Research in the Emergency and Trauma Center at the Hackensack University Medical Center and an emergency medicine physician. Today, she will discuss issues of racial disparities and access to healthcare that have come to clear light during the pandemic. After her keynote, she will also offer a workshop going deeper into the issues of health justice, with time for discussion. If you signed up for that, you can look forward to extending the conversation begun in the keynote.
As part of the preamble, I want you to consider some of the goals of the workshop we'll be having. I want us to review data on racial and ethnic disparities, that had to do with the COVID-19 pandemic, I'd like us to consider some root causes of these of this situation, the racial and ethnic disparities in COVID-19, and then also consider short-term strategies of what we can do to reduce these disparities. Okay, now a publication recently mentioned that 2020 will be known or remembered, unfortunately, as the year of two viruses. Now, the first virus being COVID-19, right? COVID-19 that basically left an unprecedented number of deaths and illness throughout the world as a pandemic. And the second virus being racism. Racism that exposed all the multitude of protests after Breonna Taylor and George Floyd were murdered through police brutality and extreme action by law enforcement. Now, that's sad, but that's the fact. That's what 2020 will be remembered as. Now, some important facts about the pandemic that we'll be going over is some of the numbers of deaths and the states and what happened, right? Today alone, in the morning of today, looking at the websites that follow these deaths recorded for COVID, there were recorded 28 million deaths of COVID so far in the United States, and 28 million infections and 488,000 deaths so far with COVID. Sad, but true. Also, Black people, Hispanic people, and American Indians, the so-called BIPOC portion of our demographics in this country, have been very sadly and hard hit by this pandemic, getting infected at about a rate of 4 times more than, let's say, white people, and actually dying at 3 times the rate of white people. Now, it's very important for us to consider. It's very important for us to consider that some of the causes, actually the root cause of these disparities with COVID is actually structural racism. We'll go over these details and go over how and, as much as you guys want us to discuss. Now, structural racism actually led to the limited access of everything, health, wealth for people of color, and consequently causing these disparities to be exposed during this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, some digital and written media actually say that it is actually more important, your zip code is much more important as a determinant of how long you live and your health outcomes than a genetic code. I'm sure some of you have heard that before. Now, we know racial inequity is common in all our systems, in healthcare, in the educational system, in the finance system, housing. But inequities are actually caused by systems as opposed to someone's culture or background or even socioeconomic status. It's actually the system that's causing this. So we have to think of possible solutions, and we'll be going over this at the workshop. Now, some of the solutions would include, what it means to be anti-racist, which is more of an active term than a passive term being non-racist. We'll consider how to make targeted policy changes at all levels, as well as how to modify our mindset and think more of, policy versus thinking of people. So some of the takeaways and gains I want us to, glean or gain from this workshop and our conversations in a little over a week from today include to remember and think of race as a complex, powerful social construct. It has little to do with biology, actually. And then also, together, we can become change agents. So I want you to take away that, thought. Together, we can become change agents. And then what you do does matter. You can make an impact. Every individual can make an impact, especially our youngest members of society, you guys.
The rest of the day will go as follows. Workshop 1 starts at 1:45 and goes until 2:45. Then from 2:50 to 3:50 we'll be in Workshop 2. After workshops, IGS will be from 3:50 to 4 o'clock. When signing into your workshops, make sure to use your Bergen.org account. Using the Zoom link sent to your email, you should be able to access the workshops from there.
Have a great IDA and enjoy your workshops.
Bye.
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 Bye.